For this project, you'll need to know how to make a chain stitch, a single crochet, and you also need polyfill. Learn how to make these stitches by watching our shorts. We're going to start with the chain 5. We're going to make our slip knot. Then we're going to get our hook, put it in our slip knot, and then we're going to make our chain 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's count them. Don't count the knot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to start row 1 with the chain 1, and then we're going to do 12 single crochets. There's 1 single crochet, and we're going to put a stitch marker on this first crochet. Then we're going to go into the next stitch for our second crochet. Then in the next stitch for the third. And in the next stitch, the fourth crochet. Now on this stitch, we're going to put 3 different crochets. Crochets number 5, 6, and 7. We're going to put crochet number 5 in that stitch. In the same stitch, crochet number 6. Then we're going to turn our work a little bit. And then in that same stitch, crochet number 7. And then we're just going to proceed. The next stitch, crochet number 8. The next, crochet number 9. The next, crochet number 10. The next, crochet number 11. And then finally in this stitch, crochet number 12. And then we're done with this first row. For row number 2, we're going to do a sequence of an increase and 3 single crochets, 3 increases, then a sequence of 3 single crochets and an increase, and then an increase. So at the end we should have 18. We'll start with our first single crochet. We're going to put a stitch marker in there. Then we're going to put another single crochet in that same stitch to complete the increase. And now we're going to do 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3 single crochets. Now we're going to do 3 increases. So here's first increase, second increase, and then the third increase. Next, we're going to do the sequence of 3 single crochets and an increase. There's our first single crochet, second single crochet, third single crochet, and then we're going to do our increase in this next stitch. And finally, we're going to do that last increase. And now we're done with row number 2. Let's count our crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we just have the really easy rows. For rows 3 to 6, we're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. We're going to add a stitch marker to our first single crochet. And we're going to leave all of our stitch markers in so that we could count the rows in case if we forget. So we're just going to continue with making our 18 single crochets. Now we're at our beginning stitch marker, so that means we're at the end and we completed one row, and we're going to start the second row where that first marker is. So there's our first crochet, and then we're going to put in our marker for our second row, row 4, and then we're going to do our 18 single crochets. Now we've completed our second row, row number 4, and we're ready to move on to our next row of 18 single crochets. After the first crochet for our row number 5, don't forget to put in the stitch marker and then continue on with the 18 crochets. And that completes our 5th row, and now we're ready to go on to our 6th row. We're going to start again with that single crochet, and once again put in our stitch marker, and then carry on with the 18 single crochets for this last row. Now that we're done with row number 6, we can make sure that we've done all of our rows. We should have 4 stitch markers. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're done with all of our rows from 3 to 6. So now let's remove all of the stitch markers. And now we're going to do a color change from pink to white. This is Hello Kitty's shoe, and now we're going to put on her legs. We're going to start the color change like we're doing a regular crochet. We're going to go through the stitch, yarn over, bring it through, and then we're going to take our white yarn, and then we're going to loop it over the hook. Then we're going to pull through the 2 loops. Then once we have it through the 2 loops, we're going to go into our crochet stance like we're going to do a crochet. Then we're going to go into the second stitch, yarn over, then pull through the 2 loops, and that'll give us our first single crochet that's in white. Then we're going to tighten everything up, and we're just going to crochet as normal using our white yarn as our working yarn, and we're just going to start making single crochets. We're going to continue this until we make 18 single crochets around. We just finished our 18th crochet and finished our first row, row number 7, and now we're going to continue to row number 8. But first I'm going to cut this pink yarn so it doesn't get in the way. Before we start our crocheting, let's count our crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and number 18. And now we're ready to start row number 8. We're making our first single crochet. We're going to add our stitch marker. We actually forgot to put a stitch marker on that color change row, so we'll just have to remember we already did that row. Then we're going to continue with our single crochets until we reach 18 single crochets. And we just finished our final stitch for row number 8, and we're ready to move on to row number 9, our final row. We're going to start with that single crochet, and then we're going to put that lovely stitch marker on there. And then we're going to continue with the 18 single crochets. And now we've come up to crochet number 18, and now we're finished with row number 9 and Hello Kitty's leg. So we're just going to finish it off by pulling the yarn through, We're going to cut it, leaving about, I don't know, 4 inches. We want to make sure we cut the right one off too. And then we'll just cut this pink yarn off as well. Okay, and now we're ready to stuff our leg. We're going to stuff the leg pretty well because they're going to have to hold up Hello Kitty's body as well as her gigantic head. So just kind of fill it to the top and allow it to kind of keep its shape, because we kind of want to make it look like it's her foot and her leg put together. And now that it's done, we're going to make another one. And like magic, we have another one. And now we're done with our 2 legs and shoes.